Hello, Rack. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you? Terry?
I'm not good.
I thought you cut Linus. Had enough.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I'm not. I'm not. From a footballing point of view, I'm genuinely terrible. Genuinely terrible. But you're a Liverpool fan. You're top of the league, 8 points clear. You must be ecstatic.
Yeah. I couldn't be happier, mate. The last few times I've called up, you've asked me a few times, what do you think about Liverpool winning the league, and I've kind of held back a bit, and I've given City praise and said that, I still think they're kind of in the driver's seat. But I think as it stands right now, we're ahead of them, and not just in points, but I think we're looking a stronger team, and the fact that they're missing Laporte and Stones has been a bit up and down, but there's definite problems in their defence. I was looking at a stat earlier today that said that I think City have conceded 10 shots with an XG of .4 or above so far this season. In the whole of last season, they only conceded 11. So those are big chances they're conceding already. And it does bode well for us. I mean, Wolves cut through them like butter a few times yesterday. So
they did, and I think what's really interesting to look at is obviously anyone can go and look at the league table as we are right now. But this is the interesting point for me. They're on 16 points as it stands. This time last year they were on 20. This time 2 years ago they were on 22 points. So from their point, there's psychological damage here. They know that it's their worst start to a season in 3 years. Although 16 points from 8 games is pretty good in any other time. But not only do they know that they have slipped back, Liverpool have started the season better than Man City's 100-point year. So that is in the back of your mind that, Jesus, even though we've had a slip-up, they probably would have expected you guys to drop a point or two here or there, but your start has been I don't know if any team's ever won their first 8 games in the league before. I don't know if that's ever been done.
The record in a top-flight season was Spurs. I think Spurs have won 11 in a row. That was like in the 60s.
Oh, forget that. Premier League. Like if you look at Premier League era, I can't remember a team winning their opening 8 games.
I think Chelsea did 9 under Mourinho.
Oh, okay, so there we go. So that's the sort of level you're looking at here. But I think that's getting into the mindset of Manchester City. They've lost their best 2 centre-backs. There's pressure on them to win because they're defending champions. There is also, we spoke to a Spurs fan earlier, there is this element of, we've got to go again. I don't know how many times has Pep gone past 3 seasons with a group of players as well. I mean, he was at Barca, maybe with Barca he did it, but he definitely didn't do it at Bayern Munich. He was only there 3 years. And there is a lot of talk about burnout at clubs and exhaustion within these squads and players because of the tempo they play at. And it could just all come to fruition for Liverpool. Liverpool are, of course, putting that pressure on them. But you could also just time it perfectly for when City are now on the decline, ever so slight. Even though they're a brilliant team still, if they decline just 10% and you guys take advantage of that, I do believe, and I've said it since the summer, because everything that's happening now is what I predicted from the title race, you are going to win the league, mate.
Well, I hope you're right. I know second half of last season, by the end of the season, both teams were sick and tired of each other in terms of the stress they were causing each other. Because literally, after each game by the opposition was pushing, Liverpool or City respectively to go again. We finished. I think we won 9 in a row. They won something like 13 in a row or something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
And which is kind of almost unheard of numbers. I will caveat it obviously because. If you look at City last season, second half of the season, they dropped 3 points in the whole season. They won 18 and lost 1.
Yeah.
So, let's assume, if it's possible to assume that City don't do that again, then I think we have an excellent chance now with the lead we've established. But, that kind of stuff with City is always possible, but they've got serious problems with their defence, and
they do. The difference is though, when I look at City this year, they remind me of a boxer who has never been knocked out, but then suddenly lost a couple of fights on the bounce to KOs, and suddenly there's this air of confidence that disappeared. There is this sense of vulnerability, and we know what they did to Watford, an amazing result. But they have looked vulnerable. Even yesterday, I was watching the game, and they were dominating the ball, and I'm sitting there, and I didn't feel nervous, and that's weird. Like I can't, and I'm in the weirdest place because I don't want City to match Man United's 3 on the bounce. Equally, I don't want Liverpool to win the league, but I know unless Chelsea go on some mad run, it's almost impossible for both of those things not to happen. So there's a part of me right now that's thinking, Liverpool winning it might not be the end of the world. Maybe it is. I really don't know where my loyalties lie, but
to be honest, mate, that's football. Look, at some point, whether it's this year or in a few years' time, Liverpool win.
Yeah, at some stage, that's going to happen. There's no doubt. It's just one of, as I say, mate. I look at this City team, and I wasn't watching yesterday thinking, Wolves are going to concede in a minute. There was a chance late on, I think, with Aguero turned and snatched at a shot. But even then, I just, sometimes, like when I watch Man United play at the moment, every time somebody attacks us, I feel like they're going to score, and they invariably do. We don't have many attacks against us, and when they do, they go in. I felt the other way yesterday about City. There seems something missing with them as a group.
Yeah, and just going on to Man United, like, obviously you guys are getting a lot of banter thrown at you at the moment, and certainly by Liverpool fans, and certainly I'd include myself amongst that. But, at some point, United will be good again, and then at some point after that, United will be bad again. And Liverpool are good right now, and at some point they'll be bad. These things it is cyclical, and there's lots of reasons why these things happen. And I've got a theory about Solskjaer. I don't think he is not getting sacked. I'm 100% confident he is not getting sacked. The only thing that may happen is if he resigns before the end of the season. But if he doesn't resign, if he doesn't choose to walk away himself, he is not getting sacked until the end of the season, at the very least.
Why do you think that?
Because I think he's there to clear the boards. I think part of all the activity, or some of the activity in the summer, and all the noises that are coming out, especially after they announced their financial results recently, they were saying that they want to back their manager. Some people will call it the dreaded vote of no confidence, but I think he's there to basically get rid of players like Sanchez, players like Lukaku, because I think United have, I can't remember, the second or the fourth largest wage bill in the world. Get that under control.
Yeah.
Get the dead wood like your Phil Jones.
The only way there's two ways. Well, there's only one way that you're right, and I mean this with respect. Is if internally, forget what they say publicly. Is if internally they felt that what's happening now was plausible with the actions of clearing out certain players, lowering this, changing that. Maybe not quite as bad as this, pending a couple of results, because there was a couple of 2 or 3 draws that we really should have won the games in. I'm not saying yesterday we deserved anything at all. Maybe this was part of their plan. Maybe they expected this. Maybe for them it's like, okay, we're not where we want to be, but we knew there'd be a big dip this year. They're never going to say that publicly. 1, it would destroy the share price, and 2, fans would be up in arms about it. I
think internally, they will have, to a certain extent, and this might sound like sacrilege to a lot of United fans, because, club is United, how can they do it? But I think to a certain extent, they're writing this season off. And
I get that. I agree with that, Rack. I think if they're doing that, then maybe he keeps his job. My biggest issue, and I've said it before, if he stays and he does turn it round, you will not hear a happier Man United fan, and you won't see one apologise as quickly as me to say, I didn't think he had it in him, and he has done it. And I'm also not in the Ollie Out brigade, by the way. I'm never going to slag him off. I'm not going to say a bad word about him as a man and a person, because he's a club legend, and I'm not going to go down that route. My biggest fear, though, is I don't trust this board, mate. I don't trust Woodward. I don't trust anyone involved in making decisions at this football club. I just feel that they're going to make some trigger-happy, knee-jerk reaction, and not only sack Ollie, but whatever their plan of action has been, it's almost like, right, how do we get the fans back on side, because we need to get them season ticket renewals, and we need to keep the sponsors happy. I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got it there. We'll go and throw big money at Allegri. And I'm not saying Allegri's a bad manager, but I just sort of sit there and think to myself, I get this horrible, horrible feeling that we're going to do that. We're going to go in a new direction. And 15 months into that, we're going to go, actually, we want to go. The fans aren't happy with the style of football, so we're going to start looking for a new manager now. We're going to undermine Allegri, undo all the work that he's done, and undo all the spending he's done, and we're going to go for someone else. Who's available? Look, Nagelsmann's available. We're going to go bring him in. But then he comes in and realises straight away, this squad is awful for how I want to play football. It's a 2-year project. 12 months into that, we start getting angry because we're not where we want to be. And I just don't see this cycle ending with the people in charge. And I think it's very unlikely Man United will get, the fans can get the board, the owners to sell. What they can maybe force through by cutting the snake's head off, like I said before, with money, is get them to make fundamental changes to the board structure, the decision makers, the right kind of technical directors, sporting directors in place, and put some educated football men back around that table.
To be honest, though, I think that's only going to come from United internally, and to be honest, they've been resistant to change, from what we understand anyway, because we don't really know what goes on at board level, but they seem very resistant. They've seemed very resistant to change up until now. At least they're not accepting any pressure from the fans. Whether that will change, maybe they'll come to the realisation. Maybe they'll look at other clubs that have, cause I think 17. I read that article that you posted earlier that about the training guru website. It's a really good website. Actually, really good.
Yeah, it is. And do you read the article by Dan Ashworth?
Dan Ashworth.
Yeah, well, not by him, but on him. I mean, when you listen to what he said, it smacks you in the face of what Man United are not doing. But you think about Brighton, brilliant for their level, they're doing amazing. Bournemouth, for their level, brilliant. I think Liverpool and City, their structures are very, very similar as well. And there's no, for me, even when you look at Spurs, who, yes, they're struggling right now, and I honestly think there's a few little things. Maybe I'm not happy with the manager, not happy with a few decisions. The players not happy with a few things. I just think it's the head coach has come to the end of his life cycle with these players. And I reckon if Poch left tomorrow and they brought in, let's just say they brought in somebody like a Tuchel, or they brought in Eric
or something like that,
Eric De Gea, yeah, someone who plays good attacking football, he would then get a tune out of this team and they could move on to that next level again. I don't think they're finished in terms of it's whether they can hold on to those players is another question. But no, I look at it that way, mate. It's just painful. If I'm being honest, as a fan, I've never felt this kind of pain as a football fan in my life. It's terrible.
Like I said, Tay, and like we spoke about a few times in the past, it wasn't that long ago that Liverpool were fielding like complete farmers in the bloody Champions League against Real Madrid, or like some of the players we've played pre-Klopp recently, and that's not that long ago. So it does show that with the right structure, with the right recruitment,
of course, and
turn round. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give Man United fans much hope.
No, listen, and I make you right, bruv. I make you so right, because it's about getting it. You've got to get it right, and this is why my only, if they do get rid of Ollie, my hope is that they stick to whatever the plan. They don't need to tell us the plan, because why would you? Why would you tell the rest of football what you're trying to achieve? That's kind of giving the ghost away. You have to keep those things private. It's a business plan. They're not for public consumption, even for fans. But they need to stick to it. And we will know, if they get rid of Ollie, their appointment, in my opinion, will tell us as to whether or not they're trying to stick with it or not. But Rack, listen, mate, as always, I really appreciate your call.
Yeah, great chat to you, Tel.
Cheers, mate. Take care. God bless.